We all come here as a clean slate. Those unique sensitivities and the way that something has made us feel and how we are able to overcome it, that's what determines what end of the spectrum, be it the lighter end or the darker end of energies that we end up projecting. That is what determines it for us. It is our interpretation of those energies. My blessing comes from being able to make peace and have a deep understanding and still a respect for those who walk through life embodying those heavier dynamics. And it's not that I excuse their behaviour or tolerate their behaviour either. I have no time or patience to keep myself surrounded with energies that are inauthentic. It takes us learning our own self and growing that worth within us in order for us to make better and healthier decisions for who we allow into our experience. Because we all have to hold ourselves accountable for the part we play, even if you've never maliciously projected onto anybody or intentionally set out to hurt anybody. You're accountable for the part you play in at least opening up the door to allowing in those heavier energies to come into your experience. And many people don't like to do this. They instead like to blame and victimize themselves and convince themselves by sharing their story and getting a multitude of energies to back them up and all agree that, you know, this toxicity within humanity itself, once you put this label on it and title someone as narcissistic, you completely wipe away the accountable parts of you that opened up the door to receiving that energy. Those people that embody that chaotic energy that they have built as a coping mechanism, because that's what it is. These people have the potential to impact this world to the other extreme of it projecting so much light. But they have to choose that for themselves. It is never your job to try to make people see the flawed parts of themselves. It is your job to reawaken yourself and come back to the wholeness and completeness of all that you are. And when you do this, you set the example for others who are ready to wake up and stand in their light and come back to the full embodiment of Source that runs through each and every single one of us. None of us are born with this malicious energy that runs through us to attack and strip down and hurt and make others small. Each and every encounter that I've experienced with those heavier dynamics took me within to learn more about myself and the energies I wish to project out into the world. That is why I don't retaliate to anybody who brings me pain. I also don't condemn those who come into my experience and have wanted to make me feel small and insignificant in my own sense, or tried to make me out to be everything I am not. I understand that this is how they've learnt to cope, and that is where I see my greatest blessing and my greatest strength, that I'm able to have compassion for even the worst of the worst experiences that have been dealt out onto me, and not hold grudges on people who have brought that into my world. Because I'm not perfect. I am a human being and I'm flawed, and I have the accountable part that I hold within me for allowing that energy to remain in my world and for reopening doors with people who have brought me pain and suffering. Because I forgive, because I believe in people, and I understand that we can all grow. And you never know, that moment of awakening that can strike within a person's soul to strip down the layers and come back to the truth of all they are. When I feel the heaviness of energies within a person, I don't judge it. I just put my boundaries up and understand that that is where they're at throughout their life's journey. It is not my job to save people. It is my job to be me in all my authenticity, just like it is your own. It is not your job to hold on to the bitterness and the ugliness that can be projected out from others. When you hold on to this energy, you sabotage your own world, and you allow that cycling of energy to remain within your experience. That undertone lives so strong within you. Even if you close out heavier energies, when you stay in those victim mindsets, you have not truly cut the cords of that heavy dynamic of frequencies from repeating cycles in your world. You make peace, you find forgiveness, you go beyond the personal attack that you have felt when experiencing these people, and you understand this person has a distorted perception on how they view this world, and that they truly sit in the victim state believing that what you have done is deserving of the treatment you've gotten. This is their survival mechanism throughout their walk of life. This is it. It is wounds within them, the distorted perception that they have formed throughout their experience, whatever their path has entailed, has led them to perceive life through this lens, to perceive people to be a certain way, and this is why they do these things to others. It's the flawed parts of themselves that they have not healed or been able to even see in the first place, in order to break down and move past those blockages that keep sabotaging their world. It all comes back to this truth. We are in charge of our own peace and fulfillment throughout our walk of life. This is the part that you get to hold yourself accountable for everything you allow into your world. And I speak about this so often because this is where many people fail to move past the hurts and the pains that they have lived through, and they build their whole identity around these experiences and encounters, never being able to make peace and truly cut through those toxic energetic cycles that, even though the faces change and the situations may look different, but the undertone of energy still brings about that toxicity into your experience. How you break away from that is not take it personally, because we all go through ascension, whether it be this life or the next. Our energy is infinite. We will cycle back through dynamics until we are ready to shift our own energy frequency and truly cut cords with toxic cycles that repeat in our world. When you energetically cut off that toxicity from your own internal state of frequency, the energy that people project out on you, it can no longer harm you or touch you. You become a force of protection. You create a force field around you because you no longer hold hostility or resentment toward that other energy that you encountered. Therefore, when they are projecting out on you, it ricochets back into their world, and this is where the karmic repercussions come back to those that walk through life and bring so much hostility into the lives of others, that bring so much hurt and pain. You actually send it back when you no longer invest your energy into that toxicity, and instead you project light and love onto those that have brought you pain. Forgiveness is the key to everything. Walking in your light and having the ability to grab yourself before you send out negativity onto others and hold so much resentment and hostility. See beyond that face that you've attached to that hostile energy and understand that those energies are experienced for those people as well. That is not one-sided. They suffer in their own mental prison each and every single day of their lives. They hurt themselves more than anybody. If you have genuinely been somebody who has given your heart, your love, your time to those that have disrespected your worth, and when I mean worth, I mean energetically, what you have offered out, if it is pure, understand that they don't feel worthy to receive love. It's always a matter of how much they are able to receive that purity of your love. And if they are not ready, it's not for you to question it. Understand that all of us are on our own separate journey. We can come here and walk paths together with people, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to bond with somebody and walk your journey alongside each other. But you cannot take ownership and demand people to learn their lessons just because you have reached a certain point of understanding. It is not your job to force that understanding into others either. I share for those who are walking a similar timeline to myself, who are receptive to hearing what I have to say and will be able to benefit in some way. Because the moment you shift that perception is the moment you cut that energetic cord, and you will start to walk in your own light, and that is what protects you. Stay in your light, grow it, nourish it. That is what is going to allow you to open up to the higher timeline, to be experienced throughout your journey. And you are so worthy. They are worthy of their ascension as well. Because the more of us that come back to the wholeness of all that we are, the better this world becomes for each of us to exist in. And that is the vision I have. It takes just one of us to go within and come back to the full embodiment of all that we are, and no longer take things personally. We all have the power to do that.